Welcome back. We are now hearing that GameStop is going to be closing a significant number of their stores, but they're also going to be investing in cryptocurrencies, more specifically Bitcoin. And we already heard from Michael Saylor welcoming the GameStop ecosystem to the crypto ecosystem, I guess you could say. Anyway, in today's video, we're going to be kind of discussing that crypto trading can create and probably will create millionaires. Will you be one? As we've been talking about on this channel, we have to really understand where the market is, where the market is going, and try to be ahead of the market, because if you're playing in the market, you don't want to be buying in when cryptos are at all-time record highs. You want to have bought in way beyond that, way lower than that, when some of these cryptos are at multi-year lows. And so it's not just cryptos, though. There's a lot of money outside of crypto. A lot of people get so focused on crypto and they miss the mark on other areas of the market that they could potentially be making money in. Now, this article came out last year, in the middle of the year. It says the number of crypto millionaires has boomed. Now, this was after the first major pump in the market that occurred from basically November all the way through the middle of 2024. Then we had a little bit of a cool off period. And then again, at the end of the year, we had another major pump. This kind of is very similar to what we saw in previous cycles, during the halving year, the year after the halving, not before the halving. And so there are some people who say that we're already in a bear market. I personally don't believe that we are there just yet. I do think that we're getting closer to a bear market, because if we're in a bull market, what's next? The bear market, right? So again, just being prepared for that and kind of understanding where the market is, again, where the market's going and how we can stay on top of it. So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. We're going to be going through a lot of different aspects of the market: stocks, crypto, the regulatory environment, other ecosystems in the crypto sphere. And we're also going to be talking about Dogecoin millionaires specifically. Don't forget to give this video a free thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button. We upload on a regular basis to bring you the latest happening in the financial world. Welcome to the channel. If you want to help support, click the join button down below to learn more about becoming a channel member, or you can use the super chats in the comments down below. So we just heard that GameStop, their board of directors, have voted to add Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. Now, remember what I said a few weeks ago, that we've seen MicroStrategy continuing to buy more and more Bitcoin. They now are, I think, one of the largest holders of the Bitcoin themselves in the world, with basically a little bit over 500,000 Bitcoin. And now GameStop is kind of on the verge of a existential crisis to their business after GameStop closed about a quarter of their locations within the past year, shuttering 1,000 stores across the world. The company said it's not close to done. And so they're going to be closing a significant number of stores, according to the company, with additional locations in the coming months, although the specific set of stores has not yet been identified. Now, remember, guys, if you think about the GameStop business, right? It was about selling games. You could do that online. Selling equipment. You could do that online. Selling the actual game systems. You could do that online. Trading in old equipment for new equipment. You could do that online. And so effectively, we're seeing a blockbuster situation occurring with GameStop. But GameStop has a lot of cash, from what I understand, because what they have done over the last few years, this is very similar to what MicroStrategy is doing this cycle, is when GameStop prices were extremely high, the board of directors allowed them to sell more shares onto the market to raise money, from my understanding. And this is how they were able to get a big, large cash stockpile. I'm sure some of that went to just kind of continuing their operations, but now they may be sitting on some money. The company said their net sales totaled $3.8 billion last year, down from $5.2 billion the previous year. That's a pretty big drop. That's like 40% drop. Their net income was $131 million, up from $6.7 million the year before that. And so it doesn't say here how much cash they have on hand, but I would imagine that they have cash on hand to be putting it into Bitcoin. And I think that they're looking for other strategies out here, right? Because the brick and mortar location standpoint of what their business was, it no longer is the same way that Blockbuster, no longer really was, because they had they would deliver the movies to your house, and they they had started to get streaming services and stuff like that. So Blockbuster kind of just went out of business. And we're starting to see the same thing happening with GameStop. We're also seeing the same thing happening with Best Buys. I mean, Best Buys, a lot of the locations are closing down, or if you go in them, it's like, are we in the United States or in a third world country? Like these Best Buy stores look awful and terrible, but it's like they have these large locations. How many people are going and buying, a refrigerator from Best Buy, or a video game from Best Buy? People are doing this online now. TVs, same thing. So what were people using these stores for? To go and test the products, look at the products, see if they like it, and then they would go and get it delivered. So a lot of these businesses are having really existential crises, having to figure out what their new business is. And I think GameStop is in the same situation. Potentially putting Bitcoin in the Treasury Reserve could be really good for their longer term growth and security as a company. But is this investable? Is this tradable? Well, again, based on the speculation alone, the stock price went up substantially. I think like 15% just based on the news that they were going to be buying Bitcoin without explaining how much Bitcoin they were going to be buying and what their plan on doing with it is. Because again, remember, we are still basically at all-time record highs in Bitcoin. And so if they are buying the top now, I mean, I don't think that's a really good idea, because are they going to sell before we go below that price? And if we go below this price in the next bear market, are these companies going to be able to withstand that? I don't know. But I think that we're going to continue to see companies kind of dabbling into Bitcoin in the bull market, which doesn't make sense. And then in the bear market, all the companies are going to say, we shouldn't have done that. That was really bad decision. We weren't thinking about, the potential bear markets that were coming. And we don't, because effectively, if they're losing money on this investment in the medium term, a lot of companies, shareholders, they don't have patience. They're not going to wait 5 more years till the next bull run, till a potential cash out or refunding or taking out debt on this Bitcoin is going to be more in play. Especially again, if the prices in a bear market are lower than this. So we have to keep this in mind. So again, not only will crypto trading create millionaires on the way up, it's going to create millionaires on the way down. So if GameStop stock continues to go down or continues to go up in the bull market and then goes down in the bear market, people are going to be shorting it. People are going to be doing this with MicroStrategy as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure they already are. And so keep that in mind. When the market's going down, just because it seems like everybody's still bullish and everybody's still holding, there's a lot of people trading on the other end of that, right? And so you have to keep that in mind. At some point, you probably do want to sell into the rally or dollar cost average out. And then on the way down, knowing that we're rotating into a bull market, and some of those signs will be there, collapses of companies or over leverage, MicroStrategy, extending $100 billion of more debt at the tippity top of the market. This potentially could be signals that we're at the top and that it's time to start betting that the market's going to correct. And again, I don't know when that's going to happen, but it will probably happen at some point within the next year. But we have still so many bullish signals here, guys, because we've already come down about 50% in many stocks and cryptos. And so understanding the regulatory environment, the incoming SEC chair, Paul Atkins, owns up to $6 million in crypto-related assets, no Bitcoin direct. So he basically has $1 million in equity in 2 companies and up to $5 million in crypto investment funds, according to his disclosures. So he is on the board. He has a board seat of Securitize, the BlackRock-backed tokenization firm. We've been hearing a lot more about tokenization of real-world assets and locking those things on chain. So understanding that the new SEC commissioner has a board seat there and owned between 250,000 and 500,000 in call options in the company. I mean, you guys can do math, I think. That's probably a good thing for crypto. Atkins also held between 250,000 and 500,000 in equity in Anchorage Digital, the crypto custodian valued at over $3 billion. His other crypto holdings come in the form of stake worth between $1 and $5 million in the investment firm Off the Chain Capital, where he's a limited partner. And so this, I think, is extremely bullish as well. I mean, coming from the Gary Gensler regime to clearly a pro-crypto regulatory environment and firm and executives at these regulatory environments, I think this is very positive for the crypto space. And this brings us into what else is going on. Because we need to look for these leading indicators. And what I've been showing you guys is that right now, nobody's paying attention to the Bitcoin mining companies. A lot of them are down significantly. A lot of people who were big bulls on the Bitcoin mining companies, they're silent right now because a lot of them were buying at the top of the market, buying last year at the top of the market, and then just kept buying. Listen, one of the companies that I've been following very closely is Bitfarms, on this channel and off this channel. Bitfarms appoints James Bond. This is not a joke. Bitfarms appoints James Bond as the senior VP of high performance computing, right? 007. And now he's going to be the senior VP of high performance computing, right? What have I been telling my viewers is that what we are seeing happening right now is this pivot and reshuffling from, like, this is very similar, okay, to when we reshuffle our portfolio, right? Large companies are reshuffling their portfolios of talent, of what their business looks like, their business strategy, the assets that they own specifically. And this is an indicator that things usually that we're kind of, the whole market is kind of rebalancing and ready to go to the next level. And so everyone's kind of making their last minute moves before we get to that next level. The Bitcoin mining companies who are looking at and pivoting to AI, not completely, but partially, these are going to be the winners in my view. Okay, now I could be wrong on this, but I don't think that I am, because AI is going to continue to build. We've already heard that the US is going to foster this innovation. We already know they're doing that with Bitcoin mining as well now. But the thing is, Bitcoin mining is not always a good business, right? Especially in the bear market. We saw during the last bear market, most of these Bitcoin mining companies collapsed and were probably on the verge of bankruptcy or in bankruptcy, like we saw with Core Scientific. But this was great opportunities to look at these companies and then reinvest in them. And this is what they did. I mean, look at where Core Scientific is now versus where it was in bankruptcy. At the cost adjusted for the new stock, the bankruptcy low was 50 cents, really 5 cents before the new stock. But with the new stock, the 10-to-1 issuance, it was about 50 cents. Now, I mean, at the high, it was up $15. It's a 30x. And you didn't even get this in most cryptocurrencies, let alone stocks. And so when I'm seeing these reshifting going on, when I'm recording this video, Bitfarms stock is about $1. $1. The market cap is about $400 to $425 million US. This is one of the largest Bitcoin mining companies in the world. They just bought Stronghold Digital Mining. Now they're appointing literally James Bond, 007. Just joking. This is not the literal James Bond, although maybe it is. But anyway, they're appointing him to Senior VP of High Performance Computing, and we know what that means. High Performance Computing is another way of saying AI. AI is high performance computing. And so in the bear markets, these companies can still make money and still flourish and still grow. And while they're growing their AI business, they can be preparing their Bitcoin mining business for the next bull run. Because what we're seeing all these Bitcoin mining companies doing right now is they're buying, well, not all of them, the big ones, right? Marathon, Digital, Riot Platforms, they're buying or holding their Bitcoin at the top of the market. Like literally, we are at all-time record highs in Bitcoin, and we may be going higher, of course, but we're still at all-time record highs. They should be selling now. But they've been selling the last 3 years in the bear market. So they've been selling at $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And now at $80,000, they're holding. They're like, oh, we're going to hold. This is a great idea. And it's like, no, it's not a great idea. You should be selling now and then committing that you're going to utilize that money to prepare your business for the bear market, whether that's expanding AI compute and that business line, whether it's putting some in ready to deploy in the bear market, right? Repurchasing those Bitcoin back at much lower prices. So we have to keep in mind, like there are some companies that are doing that, and there's some companies that are not doing it. And so Bitfarms now has a high performance computing SVP. And James Bond was responsible for high performance compute and AI go to market activities, including the creation of new customer offerings, designing sales and pricing programs, managing partners, including NVIDIA, Intel, and others, and managing net new logo sales and new business development teams at HPE North America, which was Hewlett Packard. And he was there for 15 years. So, I mean, guys, $1 is the stock. The stock is $1. I mean, for me, yes, this is a stock that is going to create millionaires, in my view. Not financial advice. And don't make investment choices based on what I say. I could be wrong. Information may change. And I'm just a guy on YouTube. I don't even know you, and you don't even know me, right? So Bitfarms, in my view, they're doing the right thing. And remember, Riot Platforms, one of the largest Bitcoin mining companies, they own 20% of Bitfarms. And Bitfarms has 20 exahashes per second. And they just bought Stronghold Digital. There's so many positive things happening with Bitfarms. I don't know how some people don't even see it. And some people who are in the crypto space or in the Bitcoin mining space, investing space, they don't see it. They don't think that this is a good investment. They don't think that this is, going to 5 or 10x. I mean, if we put Bitfarms, I think TeraWolf has the same exahashes per second as Bitfarms right now, about 20 exahashes per second. TeraWolf is significantly more valued, $1.1 billion. And Bitfarms is about 500 million. And so that's something to keep in mind as well, like whether Bitfarms is undervalued or the other ones are overvalued. It could be a combination of both. I do think that part of the reason Bitfarms is so significantly undervalued is because it's not a US-based company, although I think that's going to change fairly soon. They are based in Canada at the current moment. Anyway, we're also hearing Crusoe Energy sells their Bitcoin mining unit to focus on a huge opportunity in AI. Again, even the energy companies are selling their Bitcoin mining stuff, saying, get this out of our assets. We don't want it. Because to mine Bitcoin, it's ever increasing. Like you have to continue to increase your infrastructure, your new mining machines, get more power. And so it's not a business that can just kind of, cruise along. And so now Crusoe Energy is selling their Bitcoin mining business to New York Digital Investment Group, or New York DIG, in order to put their efforts into artificial intelligence infrastructure. This deal includes Crusoe technology that captures and converts flared gas from oil fields and more than 425 modular data centers. They're going to retain a major equity stake in the combined business, and they shift focus to building what they say could become one of the most powerful GPU clusters in the world. Who the hell are these guys? Oh, these are the co-founder and chief operating officer of Crusoe Energy. So New York DIG will take on about 135 of their employees who will continue operating the business under the new ownership. And so, yeah, very interesting stuff here. It says they have the 425 modular data centers spread across 7 US states and part of Argentina. So there you go, guys. New York DIG. We're also hearing eToro, their trading platform, publicly filed for US IPO at a $5 billion valuation. We're also hearing about Ripple potentially doing an IPO. We're also hearing about GEMINI crypto exchange potentially doing an IPO. We're hearing about Crypto.com potentially doing an IPO, even Kraken crypto exchange potentially doing an IPO. These are all bullish indicators, guys, because forget about the stocks, the sentiment around crypto, the money starts flowing in. If people start buying into crypto exchanges, they're going to start buying crypto. They're going to start buying crypto companies. They're going to start trading on the markets, right? And it's not just individuals, it's companies, family offices, millionaires, billionaires, traders from the stock market. They'll see the flows starting to move into crypto. They'll start trading it. The banks, we know JP Morgan, banks, GEMINI crypto exchange, and COINBASE. So they see the flows in and out of the exchange. We've talked about this for many years. And so JP Morgan, you don't think that they're trading the market also? Of course they are. They're looking at if the flows going into Bitcoin and crypto, and they're trading it. They may not be trading the underlying asset. They may be trading the ETFs, but believe it, they're trading it, right? And all the other kind of bullish sentiment that we're seeing in the traditional market, GameStop now moving to Bitcoin, new SEC chairperson, right? High powered compute and AI kind of converging in the Bitcoin mining space. And we're also seeing a lot of bullish indicators in the crypto space specifically. And by the way, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss a new video. If you like these videos and want to help support the channel, click the join button to learn more about becoming a channel member. You can become a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month. Thanks to all of our channel members and everybody who leaves super chats down below. Ethereum volatility is set to surge in April as Derive flags bearish sentiment shift. Now, we've been talking about this shift on Ethereum for quite a while. Ethereum may be entering a period of heightened volatility, according to the latest outlook from the platform Derive, which sees a significant breakout despite bearish indicators in the near term. The founder of Derive told Decrypt that Ethereum's implied volatility is currently near monthly lows. And he said historically, such low levels rarely hold. And I would agree. The volatility creates the volume, and the volume creates the major price swings, which is basically the volatility. So it kind of goes in a loop. There has been so much FUD about Ethereum. There has been so much negativity about Ethereum. Meanwhile, Solana continues to drain after the meme coin fiasco that we saw just a few months ago. And I believe that this was the beginning of the end of the cycle for Solana. I mean, guys, remember, Solana went from $8 to $260 and maintained there for pretty much the better part of a year or more. This is a very long time for a pump to occur when the rest of the market did not go anywhere near those kind of gains. And so there has been a lot of negative sentiment towards Ethereum. And if we do see, we know the upgrade is coming up potentially end of March, early April, which we are basically there. We're at the 1-year anniversary of the Bitcoin halving of 2024. Remember, guys, 12 to 18 months is when, after the Bitcoin halving, is when we see the most volatility in Bitcoin pricing. And I do believe that we are coming up on the beginning of the end of this bull run, right? The next major leg up is going to, what I believe, be the end of this cycle, and we're getting very close. But guys, well, being positioned is the most important thing. Knowing which cryptos to be in, which cryptos not to be in, and some of those we talk about on this channel. But again, you have to make your own decisions for your own investment portfolio. I can't make those decisions for you. I don't know you, and I don't know what your portfolio or risk tolerance looks like. But one of the cryptos we've talked about very extensively on this channel is CELO. Now, one of the reasons I love CELO so much is because it has so much going for it, and it has the potential to still move up fairly substantially. It's number 185 on the market charts, $218 million market cap. CELO was one of the first blockchains that Google Cloud signed on to be a validator for. That told me something was special about CELO. Like, why was Google going and validating on CELO compared to other networks? Probably because they were using the network and they wanted to validate to make sure that the network was processing properly, kind of like a check and balance, to make sure everything is what they say. And that told me that Google was probably building also on CELO. Maybe they were. Maybe we don't know yet. But what else is CELO doing? CELO developers finalize Ethereum Layer 2 transition nearly 2 years after the initial proposal. Now, this is a major update because back in December, we heard they were going to update. There was this big fiasco with Coinbase saying they were not going to support the update, leaving kind of customers to be like, well, what do we do with the coin? And then Coinbase backtracked and said that they will still support the Ethereum version of the coin, but they're not going to transition to the new version of the coin just yet, basically alluding to the fact that they want the network to complete the transition. And once Coinbase can kind of make sure everything looks good, they'll relist it. That's kind of what it sounded like from my research, at least. CELO, originally a standalone layer 1, has become an Ethereum layer 2. The transition began on the mainnet earlier today when CELO layer 1 block production was halted and the network started migrating to layer 2. C Labs, the project's core developer, first proposed this shift from Layer 1 to Layer 2 in July of 2023. The move aims to leverage Ethereum's security while preserving CELO's low-cost transactions and fast settlement times. This goal was to align more closely with Ethereum, benefiting from its security and vast developer ecosystem while addressing challenges like scalability and interoperability that CELO faced as an independent chain. The developer of CELO's Layer 2 utilized the Optimism stack, a customizable toolkit from Optimism. This means that CELO now functions as an optimistic rollup on Ethereum. And this is really, fascinating because, again, this kind of goes into the Ethereum conversation we just had. For the Ethereum Layer 2s to do well, Ethereum needs to do well. It's the same thing like for the altcoins to do well. Ethereum needs to do well. Bitcoin needs to do well, right? The market cannot do well if Bitcoin is not doing well. It's just how the market has worked. Maybe it'll change in the future, but that's where we're at now. CELO is a layer 2. I mean, we even heard recently from Solana's founder on X stating that you don't need layer 2s. Layer 1s can do everything. Meanwhile, Solana has gone down countless times. And Ethereum is not Solana. It's not a generation 5 or 6 blockchain. It's a generation 2 blockchain. And so Ethereum needs the scalability layers like Polygon, like CELO. And you guys know if you watch my videos, I'm also a huge Polygon fan and bull. I mean, look at Polygon. There's more built on Polygon than many of the chains that have less valuation than it, right? And so in my view, all of those are overvalued and Polygon is undervalued. But this part is about CELO specifically. But just look, 23 cents Polygon. These are multi-year lows. Very bullish, very bullish. But anyway, back to CELO. So yes, CELO is making the migration as a specific layer 2. This also proves that standalone blockchain survival is very, very difficult. It's very difficult. And this is why being a layer 2 and perfecting the layer 2 ecosystem, like what CELO is doing, like what Polygon is doing, this is very important because they are now have first mover advantage on layer 2s. Eventually, there's going to be layer 3s and 4s and 5s as the processing capabilities or the demands for processing capabilities increase. This is what is going to happen. But think about it. Right now on CoinMarketCap, I think it's like 14 million cryptos. That's not sustainable for any number of cryptos, right? Blockchain ecosystems and developers and keeping everything running and people using these chains. It's just not. It's not feasible. And so there are going to be, right, very few layer 1s that are utilized on a very global basis, right, with a lot of transactions. There's going to be very few of them. And there's going to be more layer 2s and eventually probably even more layer 3s because they're going to have more capabilities than the legacy layers. But these legacy layers are the security layer for everything else built on top of it. And if you have a layer 3, you now would have the security of the layer 2 and the layer 1 for everything, every transaction finalization that occurs. And so when you're talking about, extra layers of security and extra layers of backup for these blockchains, it seems like that's kind of where the future is. And so, yeah, I do think that CELO moving to Ethereum is a huge step. And I think it's going to put a lot more money flowing into CELO from the Ethereum ecosystem because Ethereum developers build on layer 2s. They just do. Unless you're a core Ethereum developer. Anyway, how many Dogecoin millionaires are there? One of the things that we've talked about with Dogecoin for quite a while is the inflationary mechanism with Doge. Like many of these cryptos, Dogecoin is inflationary, but it's true inflationary. It's inflating about 5 billion coins per year. And I forgot who explained like why this mechanism was put in place, but it was effectively put in place to encourage usage of the coin. So you're not holding it. You're not looking at Dogecoin as an investment because you know it's going to inflate by 5 billion coins every single year. And that's going to dilute all the other coins under it. This is why typically you don't see major moves in Dogecoin, except for like very short periods of time during these cycles. Most people during these short periods of times, they're in full elation mode, so they don't even realize how short of a period of time the pump is. But you can see right here, the 1 year chart, we basically were sideways most of the year. And then we had one pump from 15 cents all the way up to 41 cents. So basically a 3x in the matter of 1 month. And then it started coming down immediately, right? So really the pump was just a few days right here. This was the Trump pump after the election. But if you go back through the history, you can see that these pumps really don't last that long. It's usually within 1 month, the euphoria and elation and the people buying in dies down. Because you have to remember, like within 1 month, basically what happens is the price starts to move up. People start to get rumblings about it. It'll start to move up again. Then people start to buy in. Then it starts to go viral on social media. People start buying, going to their Coinbase accounts, going to their Robinhood accounts, buying Dogecoin. That pushes the price up even more. And then they tell their friends, they go buy. That pushes the price up even more. And as the price is going up, everybody who owned before the pump are selling into this pump. Not everybody, the smart ones, because there's a lot of people who just keep saying, "Oh no, Dogecoin's going to go to $1. Dogecoin's going to go to $1," and they'll be waiting for years. Maybe it will go to $1. That's possible. Maybe even this cycle it'll go to $1. But it could take 10 years for it to go to $1, and you could just double, triple your money on these pumps right here. So yeah, how many Dogecoin millionaires are there? So latest reports indicate that a shift in the Dogecoin investor profile, with fewer holding the crypto worth more than $1 million. This change takes place as the overall crypto market has experienced corrections and price swings. All right, let's get to the rich list. So interestingly, as the ranks of Dogecoin millionaires have thinned, an opposite trend can be seen amongst the largest holders of the crypto, commonly called whales. Latest stats from blockchain analytics BitInfo charts indicate that these large investors have been aggressively adding to their Dogecoin positions. In particular, the number of addresses holding between 1 million and 10 million Doge tokens has risen over the last year. The whale buildup could suggest longer-term bullish view of the future potential for Dogecoin, or it may be positioning itself for a front of expected changes in the market. Now, keep in mind, Dogecoin, we know that there's one wallet. If you just type in Dogecoin millionaire wallet, there's a millionaire who buys in like almost every day for 20 or 69. And he's a Dogecoin millionaire, been buying for years. A lot of speculation that this is Elon Musk's wallet. But I don't know. I mean, who else would be buying Dogecoin? Like millions of dollars of Dogecoin just at a time. Anyway, if you go to the rich list, you can actually see here Dogecoin's distribution. And if you want to be in the top 1% of addresses in terms of holders, you would be holding between 100,000 and 1 million or more coins. If you're in the top 1/10 or 100th actually of 1%, you'd be holding 10 million or more Dogecoin. And so where do you rank on this list? Pause the video so you see this and let me know. Let's make it a little larger so you can pause it right here. Let me know where you would look at the number of addresses, where you would stand in the percentage. Anyway, moving right along, we also see Solana. Solana's wealth distribution is also important to keep in mind. Where we are today, the top 10 holders own 6.5% of all the Solana coins in existence. The top 20 holders have 11%. The top 100 holders have about 25%. Now, some people would say that this is widely distributed. I would say it's probably not widely distributed, right? 23% of all the coins are in 100 wallets, right? And all the coins are not, I don't even think are released yet. But, there is going to be millionaires made in this cycle. What are they going to be trading? They're going to be trading everything we talked about in this video. They're going to be trading GameStop. They're going to be trading MicroStrategy. They're going to be trading Bitfarms and all the Bitcoin mining companies. They're going to be trading the Bitcoin mining companies that are also pivoting to AI. Probably more so the ones that are pivoting to AI. They're probably going to be trading all of these crypto exchanges and trading platforms IPOing. I would imagine when these companies IPO, it's probably smarter to short in the shorter term than hold a long position. Again, not financial advice. I'm just kind of letting you know my initial just kind of take without even looking at their numbers. Because what we saw with Coinbase and many of these other cryptos that launch is, I mean, when they launch in a bull run, the price goes literally straight down. Look at Coinbase last cycle when they went public. Look at Internet Computer price, straight down, straight down. And so typically what I do is I wait. I don't even actually trade any new offerings, whether they're cryptos or stocks, and I wait to see how it trades. How GameStop is going to trade, I would wait and hold. You know, is this just a speculative rise in the price of GameStop because they said they're going to buy Bitcoin? How much of Bitcoin are they actually going to buy? What does their treasury strategy actually look like? Are they ever going to sell their Bitcoin? Or are they just going to keep holding it forever? Are they going to start taking out debt on the stock or on, you know, the market? That way they can buy more Bitcoin. Because if those things are happening, again, why hold MicroStrategy? Right? We talk about this on a regular basis. Michael Saylor, he doesn't even hold any of his company's stock. He owns zero MicroStrategy stock. He owns Bitcoin. That's it. And so why am I going to buy MicroStrategy, believing in the strategy of MicroStrategy, when I should just buy Bitcoin, right? That's the strategy behind MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is a company that's literally pumping the price of Bitcoin. So you want to own the Bitcoin. You don't want to own MicroStrategy. But don't get it twisted. If MicroStrategy has an existential crisis, like they can't pay back their debt or they have to sell some of the Bitcoin price is going to drop just as substantially as the MicroStrategy stock is going to drop. So you have to keep that in mind as well. But yeah, they're going to be trading these. And I'm not saying to trade because I don't believe that majority of people should be trading the market. But I do believe that if you buy in a stock and then your stock or your crypto doubles in valuation, you should probably start taking profits. I'm not saying 100%, but start taking profits because this is the biggest issue we saw during last cycle. And I told my viewers, I mean, you can go back to my videos back in the middle of 2021. I told my viewers, I said, by next year at this time, people are going to be broke, completely broke, because they didn't take profits. And sure enough, a few months later, it was the top of the market. And when I said, selling this, selling this, selling this on my videos, people were unsubscribing. They're like, Cryptoviser, you sold your crypto. How could you sell your crypto? I'm unsubscribing. It's like, you're unsubscribing because I made a portfolio decision for my portfolio? That makes no sense. But yeah, people were so in this mindset that we're just going to keep going up. I mean, we may be in a bear market when I'm recording this video. I don't think that we are yet, but we could be. But all I'm saying is make sure that when you're seeing 100, 200, 300% gains that you are taking money out, because the traders are going to be taking money out of the market. When Ethereum pumps, here's the deal. Ethereum, this whole cycle, we've been hearing $10,000 Ethereum, $10,000 Ethereum. It is not going to hit 10,000. Almost guaranteed it is not going to hit 10,000. Now, it may. But if it does hit 10,000, then we have to think, okay, what is the next target that everyone talked about? 20,000. Oh, it's going to hit 20,000 this cycle. It's going to hit 20,000. So you have to think it's not going to hit $20,000 because if everybody expects it to hit that number, it won't hit it. It's the same thing with Dogecoin. Last cycle, everyone said Dogecoin's going to hit $1. It went to 73 cents and then never came back, right? Why did it do that? Because Elon Musk was going on Saturday Night Live and everybody thought that he was going to pump Dogecoin in the episode. He didn't. I don't know why everyone was expecting him to do it. But even if he did, the traders still would have sold way before $1. So the price would not have even hit $1, even if he did try to pump it. Because the traders were selling into that pump. Everybody was so elated. He's gonna pump it. He's gonna pump it. I'm gonna buy. I'm dump my bank account into Dogecoin. You're dumping your bank account into the trader's pocket because you're selling and you're buying and they're selling. during the pump. So the price could not get to a dollar. So yeah, I don't know that Ethereum can even hit $10,000 because of all of the anti-10K sentiment. But if we do hit 10K, we move the goalposts. It's probably not going to be 20K. I would like almost put money on the fact that it's not going to be 20K. We're not going to go above 20,000. 10,000, it's possible, but it's unlikely. So when I think that, right, if I own Ethereum in my portfolio, and I believe that is kind of how it's going to play out, where Ethereum may pump, but I don't think it's going to hit 10,000 because everybody's expecting it to. What should I be doing in my portfolio? Should be offloading that Ethereum before 10,000. And I'm not saying like 9,950 because that's what everyone else is going to be doing. You have to do it way before or on the way up, right? Same thing like with Dogecoin. Dogecoin topped out at 73 cents when everyone thought it was going to hit $1. So if we translate that to Ethereum $10,000, that would be $7,000 you should be selling by. So this is kind of the way to think about it, right? But you have to have a strategy. If you don't have a strategy, you're going to be in the bear market and you're going to have all of these losses in your portfolio because you can't sell because you didn't sell anything in the bull market. You have to have a strategy because crypto trading is going to create millionaires. And it can take a while, guys. Don't think about like there are people who've been doing this for years. There's people who have been holding cryptos and stocks for years. You know, there's people who've been holding XRP since it was below a penny. And they still haven't sold, right? There's people with Bitcoin who mine Bitcoin basically for free, and they still are holding it, right? So keep that in mind as well. A lot of people hold for long periods of time, and when they sell and they say, oh, I'm a millionaire now, right? Everyone's like, oh my God, they became a crypto millionaire. This person became a crypto millionaire. I have to do it too. Not realizing that you're gonna have to learn how these markets operate first. You're gonna have to learn how to deal with the fluctuations in the actual market. And a lot of people really can't do that. So anyway, I think that our conversation today really went in depth on kind of the macro market in crypto, because crypto is not just crypto, it's also stocks. It's also what's happening in the regulatory front. It's also what's happening in AI and Bitcoin mining and in the energy front, because energy is what powers all of these networks. And it's about all these companies IPOing. Because even if these companies don't make money or they made a lot of money previously, once they become a publicly traded company, they have to hire more legal teams, more employees, more executives, more contractors, and that just costs a lot more money. So yeah, but I'm also looking at everything that's building on crypto, building on DeFi, and really building on Ethereum, CeeLo, Polygon. These, I believe, are going to be winners. Whether it's now or in the future, hopefully it's in the near future, but if it's the extended future, this is what investing is, right? Don't invest where you can't afford to lose. And in the long term, hopefully most of these assets will go up and offset some of the losses that we will incur from some of these assets that don't go up because they're bad projects, they don't fulfill what they say they're going to do, or they just don't get the traction that they need to kind of move up in valuation. So let me know what you guys thought about this. Let me know what kind of your strategy is for this cycle and for really getting out of the market. Like, what is your exit strategy? Are you holding for 20, 30, 40 years? Or do you have a plan to trade this market? Let me know down below. I'll see you guys when I see you. And as always, crypto on.